All right. Well, you joined at the perfect time because now we're gonna road trip
Yes, let's go.
south. So let's do it. Alrighty, we are going south. I have to add Darius to all of the screens from now on, so there will be a shuffling every time we go through a different slide, which I think there's 2 more. But we are gonna travel south to Andrew.
To San Miguelito, Panama.
See, Sporting Saint Little Michael as your resident white.
Okay.
It's I don't want to mess up the name. I tend to do that. Last season, we started our podcast off by aggressively making people from where was it again?
It was
Mila?
Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Herediano.
Yeah, Herediano. They got really mad at us. Yeah, we didn't mean to offend anyone. We just didn't know anything about your club.
Just ignorant.
It had nothing to do with we just looked at the transfer value of the 2 teams and went like they don't stand a chance. They didn't like that. They said that they had more history than us. They did. We were wrong. We apologize. It may be a year late, but we do apologize. That was on us. But we are going to try to treat every team respectfully now. We learned our lesson. That's part of being a podcast.
Not every team.
Not every team. Just the teams that I actually don't want to make upset. Like when we're traveling to Panama to take on Sporting Saint Little Michael.
For those who don't get that, San Miguelito means Saint Little Michael.
Yeah, for all of you also white people like me. That's what that means. I think this team, we can't really learn a ton about them. I tried to put some stuff together. We looked on SofaScore. Their best player is actually on his way to Red Bulls, is what it sounds like from Andrew's research. And so it's hard to really get a gauge on who they are as a team. So instead, what we'll do is we'll talk about their city and kind of some broader stuff about them, like you would do on a road trip. You'd get their favorite meal, which Andrew is.
Yeah, we have. Can we get a drum roll? Sancocho de gallina. It's basically chicken soup.
Yep, chicken soup. Which I looked at pictures of it. It looked like it had corn involved. And it looks
very
really
Central American style. It looks similar to what I grew up having in El Salvador. Yeah, corn, probably yuca, cassava root, I think is what you Americans would call it. It's very Central American, Central American cuisine. As a Central American, I feel like I could speak to that. It's great. It's very simple, peasant food, but comforting, rich, filling. You're gonna have a great time in Panama when it comes to food.
Yeah, one of the biggest cities in the country. It's a 6-hour flight for the Galaxy. That's something to consider when we're looking at this. They are on their 5th game of the season already. They've won 2, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 1. So they are very similar to the Mexican League, where they play 2 calendar seasons in the same one. So they have like 2. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know if it's like they have 2 winners or I don't know enough about the league to really tell you. But what I can tell you is they are already in their season, and we are coming straight out of preseason. So that'll be difficult. That'll be difficult in itself. Was there anything that we wanted to add about this team? Because we don't know anything.
They play at Bernardo Candela Gil Stadium.
That's right.
All I know.
And it's a 2,000 person stadium that plays on artificial turf. That's something to consider, unless they change it to the Nacional Stadium, which might happen. I don't know if that was yet.
I'd probably rather it be. I mean, I know turf is bad, but it's better than a cow patch. Trying to be respectful to all these teams down there, but their pitches are not always great. And it plays a big advantage to the teams playing on those pitches every week out and week out. So I'd rather
definitely
consistent turf pitch.
Especially the way we try to play.
Exactly.
On the ground, moving quickly. Like, look at Barcelona against Atletico recently. They wanted to blame the pitch.
Yep.
You can maybe blame the pitch for that, for some of those things.
Yeah.
But for a team that's used to the ball moving quickly and smoothly, to go play on something that's not, like you were saying, cow patch, it might be tough for us to raise our level.
So that turf again,
we might play
probably does
messy. Yeah, so the turf would help. And to Dylan's point, he wants to see youth. We don't have to risk our senior players on turf.
Yeah.
Just go out. We don't even need to win this game. Let's be honest. It's an
No,
away
same
game.
thing as last year.
It's 0-0, 1-0, whatever. Just make it. Just get out of it.
Make it
comfortable, and then go take it to the digs and put them away.
Yeah. The pitch is an interesting thing because either it's going to be a fast and quick game. I think it's supposed to be like 85 of high there with lightning storms. So that's also that potentially could be one of those things where we're looking at a game pushed back super late again. So it's either gonna be super quick and fast with water and the turf, or it's gonna be slow and muddy on grass.
It's gonna look like that Grimsby game.
Yeah, it could. It could. This is their first time in CCC since 2013-14. Obviously, we were there last season, so we have a little advantage there, I guess. But to Mila's point, during CVI, we saw two different lineups because the Galaxy are going to prioritize the league just as much as this. And I think we're going to see that 4-4-2 that we saw in the second game, which I anticipate Hack is actually going to start in this one because he came in as a sub. So it'll be some variation of Miller, Hack, Yoshida, Nelson, and then Ruben Ramos, Cerrillo, Sanabria, Lepley, and then the front two of Ramirez and Nascimento. That's my guess. I don't know exactly. It would be very funny if Nascimento starts the game when the entire buildup has been we got this DP9. He can only play 50% of the minutes, and then immediately starts a full 90. That's how I anticipate it. That's what I want to see. I thought they played really good in CVI. This is not that they're a lower side, but I think in terms of this game just being a physical battle, I would rather us play those guys and ask the younger players, because that's a pretty young squad, to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's what the game's going to be. I anticipate them trying to beat us physically, and then you just have
These
to
games
see.
Are always super physical. They're intense. Yeah, you think of like with Marco Royce, we always say we want the rest of the team to kind of run for him. In this case, we're going to want these younger players to take the abuse, to get beat up for our probably more consistent players. It's a little bit of a front line, send the kids, the 18-year-olds,
in my opinion,
front line to the bottom, but it's a great experience for them as well. I think something that I wanted to talk about was Harbor Miller and just really getting a fantastic launch pad to have a great season from CCC. So good performances there could really change, I think, Greg Vanney's perspective. I feel like that's what happened for Harbor. He went from a right back to a left wing, basically around that time as well. So there's a lot of discovery, I feel like, opportunity for these young kids, and just learning how to play in these hostile environments. That's, I think, something that's going to help us. We played in CCC last year. Players, again, like Harbor Miller, that was their first experience abroad in that type of scenario. Now they're prepared for it. They love it. I think it's just great. It sounds harsh to like send these kids out there to sacrifice themselves a little bit, but it's good for them and they're going to love it. That's what they want to be. They want to be out there.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this is, honestly, we do have the edge in that sense. Like everybody that I named, I think played CCC minutes last year, barring Hack. Like Yoshida played, Miller played, Nelson definitely played, and then everyone played. Everyone that I mentioned there, outside of Nascimento, played CCC minutes.
This is not some like U.S. Open Cup minutes either, though. These are high level minutes, like these.
Meaningful.
Yeah, meaningful minutes for these players. It's not just like, oh, here, damn. It's you've like go compete, go earn your spot, and help us win the silver or try to win the silverware. Yeah. Which would be, if we wanted it, probably like everyone would be ecstatic. It's one of the best things you can win, if not the best in the continent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think to trust them to do CCC games like that is really good indication of our judgment of our depth, I think.
Totally.
We're comfortable with playing two squads, whereas last year didn't even have half the squad, it looks like. So to make that huge jump from in one off season is insane.
Yeah, that's a kudos to the FO, right? Like we've been giving them a lot of stick the past couple of years, but we're a totally different squad in one transfer window.
Yeah, I find this leg to be the more important of the two. So I think there is the potential that like a Gabriel Peck plays in this and plays at the weekend as well. But the importance of getting this one going and potentially having a lead going back to the Digs is important just because we play 4 games in 11 days.
Yeah.
To start the year. It's brutal. So if you can go into this game and you can see out a 1-0 or a 2-0 or just honestly come away with the win, then we can continue to play the same squad. But if we lose this game, it goes back to the same thing that we did last year with Herediano, where you have to play a stronger side and maybe you're forfeiting that game against Charlotte on the 28th. But I think that's about as much as we can get out of this game in terms of a preview. Like I said, going on SofaScore, the guy that is transferring to Red Bull on their page started, and he did not play. So I don't. Yeah. If you're confused by what I'm saying, you just have to go look at their recent games to understand it. But let's do predickies for this game, and then we'll transition into the New York game. Dari, you want to go first? You'll give a result, like the score, and then a man of the match.
I'll go. I think away is going to be tough. I'll say probably 1-1. Man of the match, I'm going to go Paintsel. I think him playing in these kind of environments, he's played in African qualifiers before, African Cup of Nations too. So, I mean, he was used to tougher conditions, and he's a very experienced player just in general. I think he's going to do great. It's kind of a game made for him.
Andrew?
Yeah, I like that read. I would probably think something like a 2-2, maybe a 2-1 either side, but I do think I give Galaxy the edge. But I think it's going to be, like we talked about, it's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a scrappy game. I'm not sure it's going to be so pretty, but it's going to be open. I feel like, and it's going to be a great learning opportunity for this Galaxy defense. They're going to be exposed to things that normally they wouldn't. I don't think things they haven't seen in the preseason, things they haven't seen, against other MLS competition. So I feel like that's going to be good, but that opens up space for mistakes, for things to happen, for kind of unexpected moments. But I just as likely, I think, as we already conceded, I think we're just as likely to score. I do see that being a 2-2. I like Darius Reed. If we do get Pinto in there, even if it's just 30 minutes, I think he can have a big impact. But regardless, I think we have a team to generate some attack, some threat. And like I mentioned, it's going to be open. It's going to be things for both sides. It's about who can either, perform better in squeaky bum time and make those clearances, or who can be more clinical and go ahead and put it away. So I think it'll be a 2-2. It'll be, I'm hoping, a fun game. But let's see, Stormy in Panama. I love it. It should be a good one.
And who is your man of the match?
Man of the match. I didn't mention, but just thinking it live, I think it might be. For me, it's one of Glesnes or Cerrillo. Glesnes or Cerrillo. Like I talked about, I see there being a lot of openness, flexibility, just chaos in this match, and that really demands a lot of your leaders in terms of like organizing everybody, kind of trying to corral everything. And in terms of the center back, that's obvious why it's important, why we need Glesnes to go ahead and do that. But for Cerrillo, I feel like from the preseason games we saw, then it was because we were playing with a lot of different options. I don't think we really fielded our strongest midfield at one point, but it just feels like the midfield was a whole for the Galaxy in a couple different situations in the midfield. And again, in a chaotic game, that's even more likely to happen. And that can make or break your game. It's going to demand a lot more of your defense, of your goalkeeper, if you can't get something down, and that puts a big exigency on Cerrillo. So I think for man of the match, I might give it to him if he can. I think maybe that foundation. I think Justin Hack will be a big part of that as well. There's things we liked and didn't like about his game in preseason. I thought he was good in pressure, but again, I didn't feel like he was supported. I feel like he might be a little bit more supported this round. Again, we're going to be probably sitting legs for the weekend, so there's just so much that is unsure. But I'm going to stick with Cerrillo in that midfield. If we can get a solid midfield and maybe again control a game that's going to be scrappy, that San Miguelito isn't going to want us to control, that really tilts the tide in our favor. It makes us run less in general. That would be big. So I think I'm going to have Cerrillo as my MVP in a 2-2.
Cool. Mila?
1-0. Definitely focused on the clean sheet in this game. That's really all I want, is to leave their stadium having not conceded a goal. For me, just based off what we've been talking about in the dual lineups, I think to achieve that, Hack has to have a good game. I think he'll be the enforcer if it is him and Yoshida type of thing. If it does end up being Glesnes, then that's a different story. But if we're predicting Yoshida Hack, then I think Hack is going to be very big, especially in this kind of messy game. Yoshida can do the sweeping up behind him, but let Hack be that guy that gets stuck in, that goes and stops before we get into those danger zones.
Yeah, I like all those predictions. I'm actually gonna say that we win 3-1. I fully anticipate this being a scrappy game, but with the anticipated lineup that I think is going to play, I'm going to pick Sanabria because I think that a player coming from Uruguay understands this level of match and the level of physicality that's going to be needed. He was our second leading goal scorer in preseason, and I think that we're going to control possession because that's what we always do. That's Vanney ball. But the high press that we put on St. Louis in the second half of the preseason game is ringing really, really loud in my brain. And I think that a team like this, who probably doesn't want the ball, if you can press them high and up the pitch and then maintain pressure throughout a full 90, which we're going to be the fresher of the two teams, I suppose. I think that we can win this game pretty handily, and I'm going to go 3-1, and then Sanabria, my man of the match.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's travel back to the digs.
Bye, Panama.